Well, welcome to people who are gradually coming for the concert. I thought before we start the music that we would just say a couple of thank yous to people and take a look at the environment actually where this music is happening. I am really, really fortunate in that the house that we are renting happens to have, number one, for me, lots and lots and lots of light. We have skylights all over this place, not only in the living room, but in the back of the house as well. Lots of windows, and I have enough vision, to see light and dark, to see large objects. So I can tell that all the light is coming in through all these windows. And when the sun comes in here in the morning, it is glorious, just really wonderful. So, plus the room has fairly high cathedral ceilings, so it's a perfect room for music. And not every place that we have lived has been good for music. And I'm noticing that now with a lot of my friends who are doing home concerts. They're in these totally dead, living rooms, and the sound. It's like a studio. The sound just kind of evaporates before it gets out of your mouth. So I feel extremely fortunate to have this wonderful, wonderful space to work in. I want to express thanks to Jane, who for 55 years now, 55 years. Has been my wife and life partner and resident theologian and Bible student and psychology student with several degrees and lots of study and we talk about lots of ideas for songs. We design concert formats together. It's really been lots of fun. I'm thanking my daughter-in-law Sonia, who is doing the video work here. Thanking in Grand Rapids, Michigan, Beverly and David Vandermolen, who run Briar Patch Music, which is our little company that makes and sells and whatever all of my music and does all of our booking. I want to thank Janelle Joppi, who's making all the ads for these concerts. Thank you for your great and artistic work. Janelle is a home designer and has designed some of the most lovely homes in Grand Rapids. Usually, most years, she wins some kind of award from the local home building association. So there you go with the kudos. The picture on the wall, several of you have asked about the picture on the wall. It is the Wailing Wall in Jerusalem. The Wailing Wall where the faithful from the three Abrahamic religions, the Christian religion, the Jewish religion, and the Muslim community, can come together and weep and pray together. It is a place, and we're talking about places today. It is a place of praying and weeping for the world. We have, it's a very comfortable room that we're in, a couple of couches.
I'm going to spin around now.
Spin around a little bit, Sonia. Show folks the room so they can sort of imagine being here with us.
There's Jane.
And all right. So having looked about, shall we start the music?
Yep.
What do you think?
Just doing a little bit on the ceilings that you mentioned.
I just love the light. I just love the light in here.
Okay.
So are you ready for music?
I think we are. Let me get you back. Yes.
Okay, all right, here we go. Places, everyone! There's a place for us, somewhere a place for us. Hold my hand and we're halfway there. Hold my hand, I will take you there. Take you there. I will take you there. Fly with me on the wings of a story. Take me to someplace you know. Run with me down roads you have traveled. I want to follow where you choose to go. Sail with me down the rivers of your memory. We'll sail together, there's so much to see. Fly with me on the wings of a story. Time's all we need, my friend. Come story with me. Take me to a place from back in the day. Take me to a place you met just yesterday. Take me to a place where lessons were learned. Take me to a place where bridges were burned. Fly with me on the wings of your story. Take me to someplace you know. Run with me down the roads you have traveled. I want to follow where you choose to go. Sail with me down the rivers of your memory. We'll sail together, there's so much to see. Fly with me on the wings of your story. Time's all we need, my friend. Come story with me. There's a place for us, somewhere a place for us. Hold my hand and we're halfway there. Hold my hand and I'll take you there, to this place. It's all about places today. Places that you treasure, places that you always want to go back to in your mind, in that memory, places where lessons were learned, as I said, places where bridges were burned, places where significant things happened, or places where you just like to go retreat and be quiet. And we all have those places, and music sometimes helps us remember and re-experience those places. So I want to start with a song that we did a few weeks ago in a concert. I want to start with the tree song. And the reason is I want to tell you about my tree. When I lived on the west side of Grand Rapids, Michigan, as a child, there was outside my bedroom window this huge tree. Now, since I couldn't see the top of it, as far as I was concerned, that tree could have been 13 miles tall. Now, I knew it wasn't, but the point is it could have been much taller than it really was. And I always wanted to climb that tree, always wanted to climb it. Mom said, you better not climb the tree. It's a little dangerous. If you fall out of the tree, you just might break your neck, and we wouldn't want to have you broke a neck. Wouldn't be a good thing to do. So I didn't climb the tree, except one morning. I was about 8. It was a summer morning, and I had awakened really, really early. Got up and sneaked out the back door and went round the house to the tree. My window was on the sort of the side of the house. Went round the house to the tree, and I stood there and put my arms around as much of the tree as I could, and sort of made an agreement with the tree that if the tree wouldn't drop me, I would try not to hurt the tree. And so I started climbing because the branches were really easy. The branches were easy to get to, and I could always reach up to the next branch, and so it wasn't hard at all. And I got pretty much to the top of that tree before I stopped. And I sat in that tree for the longest time. Little did I know that my mother had awakened also because she heard me go out the back door, and she was standing at the window at the side of the house, her arms around her chest, with this expression of panic in her face. If I say anything, he'll let go and drop out of the tree. So she didn't say a word when I came in. Oh my goodness. But that tree became a very special place for me. It became my place to fantasize and to imagine stuff. I'd go up in that tree and spend, a couple of hours. It was my spaceship. It was my castle, my medieval castle. It was the place where every day a different fairy princess came to be my companion. That's, of course, until I heard about monogamy, and that kind of ruined things for me. But anyway, that tree became a very important place to me for a long time. About 10 or 12 years ago, I happened to be in Grand Rapids, and we drove to that house. And I walked around the side of the house and looked for that tree, and it was gone. Apparently a windstorm had blown it down, and they had cut down what little left of it. Like sometimes the winds of change blow down the dreams and expectations and stuff that we have. And so I miss that tree, and I'm always attracted to trees wherever they may be. So let me sing you this tree song, a new arrangement of it that I made a couple of years ago. I saw a tree by the riverside one day as I walked along, straight as an arrow and pointing to the sky, growing tall and strong. How do you grow so straight and tall? I said to my riverside tree. This is the song that my tree friend sang to me. I got roots growing down to the water. I've got leaves growing up to the sunshine. And the fruit that I bear is a sign of the life in me. I am shade from the hot summer sundown. I am nest for the birds of the heavens. I'm becoming what the maker of trees has blessed me to be. A strong young tree. I saw a tree in the winter time. Snow lay on the ground, straight as an arrow and pointing to the sky, and the winter winds were blowing all around. How do you grow so straight and tall? I said to my wintertime tree. This is the song that my tree friend sang to me. I've got roots growing down to the water. I've got leaves growing up to the sunshine. And the fruit that I bear is a sign of the life in me. I am the shade from the hot summer sundown. I am nest for the birds of the heavens. I'm becoming what the maker of trees has blessed me to be. Strong young tree. I saw a tree in the city streets where buildings block the sun. Green and lovely I could see, it gave joy to everyone. How do you grow in these city streets? I said to my downtown tree. This is the song that my tree friends sang to me. I've got roots going down to the water, and I've got leaves reaching up to the sunshine. And the fruit that I bear is a sign of the life in me. I am shade from the hot summer sundown. I am nest for the birds of the heavens. I'm becoming what the maker of trees has made me to be. A strong young tree. I saw a tree at the meeting place where people gathered round. Some came to talk, and some came to dance, and some came to sit on the ground. How do you grow? The meeting place, I said to this gorgeous tree. And this is the song that my meeting place tree said to me. I've got roots growing down to the water. I've got leaves growing up to the sunshine. And the fruit that I bear is a sign of the life in me. I am shade from the hot summer sun. I am nest for the birds of the heaven. I'm becoming what the maker of trees has blessed me to be. A strong young tree. Last week, our program was called The Earth We Share, and I asked people to tell us about experiences that they had with the planet, with the Earth, and with the environment. And I said we would try to use some of those comments this week. We got so many comments and so many beautiful, beautiful stories. And as I started to line up material for this week, things kept coming in. So for so many of us, so many of you who wrote beautiful, beautiful comments, I got to tell you, thank you so, so much for all the wonderful things you wrote. We're not going to be able to get to all of them. We're not even going to be able to get to a fraction of the things that people wrote. But I am so grateful for all the stories and all the comments. By the way, if you have an experience that surrounds a particular place. I'll tell you later about, for me, the experience of being in the choir room, why a choir room was so terribly, terribly important to me. But if you have an experience around a particular place, or a place that you love, or a place where you learned something, or a place where you had to confront maybe something that you didn't want to confront, write a comment and send it to us. We may get around to some of those stories. I don't promise, okay? Also, if you would like to donate to keep this work going, this work is being sponsored by a nonprofit that is called Interlude Retreats. And Interlude Retreats sponsors retreats for musicians. It sponsors conferences. It brings me to tiny churches that don't have any money. And it's supporting these live Facebook events. So click on the little link. There should be a little link on the page. It'll take you to interluderetreats.org, and you can donate there. Also, we have CDs and songs for download. And what I said last week, if everybody would download one song, it only costs $1 to download a song, one song. So we have a comment from last week that I felt we just really needed to expose and sing about. Sonia, would you read that story?
Yes, absolutely. So it's from Lawrence Spelink. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing that, Lawrence. And he said, "I will never lose the sensation of the violent shaking we experienced on March 11th, 2011. Inconceivable forces were unleashed, and we human beings were seen for what we are, so small and at the mercy of the forces unleashed by the magnitude 9 Great East Japan earthquake. The destruction took many lives, but in the aftermath, many rose up, especially among the churches of Japan and the world, to come alongside those who were suffering great loss, and a new tsunami of love flooded over northeastern Japan and is still bringing hope and renewal. These things must happen," said Jesus, "but when they do, how will we respond? Nature is broken and subjected to vanity, as Paul says, but there is a Redeemer who is making all things new."
Oh, the little towers that we build, oh, the little fortresses that we concoct, oh, the rivers that we believe that we can tame, earthquake comes, when the hurricane comes, when the virus comes, won't we be shocked? See, the mountains are erupting, lava pours across the island. The earth is trembling now. Now all is still, and everywhere destruction. Now all is still, and everywhere disruption. How shall we recover? Anybody know the body count? How many thousands? Look around you. Everything's torn and everything's broken. I wave at you. You wave at me. I smile at you. You smile at me. And then they start coming from everywhere. The ones who are left, the ones who are bereft, the ones who are weeping, oh, there'll be no sleeping tonight. And we band together, and we hold each other, and we embolden each other. And now look, they're coming from everywhere. rebuild, we shall remake, we shall mend, friend. Oh, love that will not let us go. Teach us just how we are to be, and bring us close to one another, so that in love our spirits may be free. Oh, love that will not let us go, grant we build the new upon the old. Grant we make a warm place from the cold. Grant that in these ashes we find gold. Oh my goodness.
You have Lawrence weeping, he said.
Give me a second here, people, okay? I'm a little verklempt myself. Let me tell you a story about a place. Several years ago, I attended a huge conference of religious leaders. There were about 4,000 of us there. It took place in Manila. And one of the speakers who got up was a Chinese evangelical preacher. And he talked about the fact that he had been imprisoned for his faith. And he said, they came to me and they said, would you recant? And would you deny your Christian faith? They said, no, I will not. I'm a Christian pastor. I will not deny my faith. And they said, well, we're going to have to imprison you. This is the way he told the story. So he said that in the prison, his job was to shovel waste material in the cesspool. Now, I have never been anywhere near a cesspool. I can only imagine. And he talked about his work in the cesspool. Now, I must give you a parenthesis here in the story because this has to do with a piece of music. There's a hymn that my mother used to love to sing, my mother and friends of her ilk. It's a hymn called In the Garden. And I always had a sort of a negative feeling toward that hymn because it just felt like a little kind of slushy. I come to the garden alone while the dew is still on the rose. And a lot of people like it, and I'm glad they do. I just happen not to because I grew up with a different kind of musical ethos. So that you need to keep in mind. So our pastor friend is telling us how he would shovel waste in the cesspool. And he said, nobody wants to be near you when you're in the cesspool. I had a whole cesspool to myself. And he said, I knew only a couple of hymns that were taught to me by missionaries. And one of them was a hymn called In the Garden. And so I would stand in that cesspool and I would shovel waste and sing at the top of my lungs, I come to the garden alone while the dew is still on the roses. And then he said the thing that killed me. He said, that cesspool became my garden. And so, of course, there was nothing to do. I was supposed to sing after the sermon, right? There was nothing for it but to sing that hymn. And so, in that context, hear it again. I lived in Grand Rapids for a long time, and I lived not far from the Grand River. Rivers seem to have a magical something about them. People talk about the riverside and coming down to the river. I want to sing a song in honor of all those people for whom the very special place is at the river. If you are a person who goes and sits by the river, you know how magical that can be. To sit by that mountain stream and or by that flowing river and just hear the water and let yourself be totally immersed in it. So let's do a river song, and then after the river song, we'll see if we can get another story. As I went down in the river to pray, studying about that good old way, and who shall wear the robe and crown? Good Lord, show me the way. Oh, sisters, let's go down, come on down. Oh, sisters, let's go down in the river to pray. As I went down in the river to pray, studying about that good old way, and who shall wear the robe and crown? Good Lord, show me the way. Show me. Oh, brothers, let's go down, come on down. Oh, brothers, let's go down in the river to pray. As I went down in the river to pray, studying about that good old way, and who shall wear the robe and crown? Good Lord, show me the way. Oh, mothers, let's go down. Let's go down. Come on down. Oh, mothers, let's go down, down in the river to pray. As I went down in the river to pray, studying about that good old way, and who shall wear the robe and crown? Good Lord, show me the way. Oh, fathers, let's go down, let's go down, come on down. Oh, let's go down, down to pray. As I went down in the river to pray, studying about that good old way, and who shall wear the robe and crown? Good Lord, show me the way. Oh, sinners, let's go down, let's go down, come on down. Oh, sinners, let's go down, down in the river to pray. In the river to pray, studying about that good old way, and who shall wear the robe and crown? Good Lord, show me the way. Oh, people, let's go down, come on down. Oh, people, let's go down, down in the river to pray. Sorry, I broke up there for a little bit. Let's see. Do we have, Sonia, a word?
Yes. So from Jean McGowan, I'm going to try to get closer to the new microphone that we're using here. So from Jean McGowan, she says, special times, many of my most remembered and loved were around the table sharing a meal. Whether it was family or friends, these are very exquisite times to cherish.
Now let me tell you all a little bit about Jean and Keith McGowan, because there's something that she's not saying in this beautiful reflection. Jean and Keith are two people who I first met many, many years ago. They live in Jefferson City, Missouri. They were living in a lovely suburb of Jefferson City, members of a very nice First Baptist church, lived in a very lovely house, lovely family, all was well. And several years ago, they decided that they were being called to leave that nice house, to leave that nice suburb, and to move into the inner city of Jeff City, to move into a neighborhood that was full of troublesome stuff. It was full of drugs and full of sex trafficking and full of unhoused people, people who had been shuffled off, left behind while society moved on. So they moved into this inner city in a big old house. I've seen that big old house. It smells like 100 years of wear. And a lot of the meals that she talks about have been had around the table in that big old house where folks from the neighborhood, folks who just needed a place to be, needed a place to rest, needed a place to know that they were loved and cared for, would come. And Jean and Keith, the work that you have done in the inner city of Jefferson City is just wonderful. Setting the table in the late afternoon. They'll be arriving soon, and they'll stay through the light of the moon. Some will stay till morning, and some for a while tonight. This table will be filled with folks. For a while, everything will be alright. tiny budget, lots of rice and beans. Don't have much time for fancy stuff. Once in a while, there's a time in between when we can really splurge and let it all out and have a mighty, mighty feast. And people come from north and south, they come from the west and the east. They come who have lived here for a long, long time, and they come who moved in just last week. They come cause they're hungry, they come cause they need friends, they come not even knowing what they seek. So the table is being set now in the late afternoon. Kitchen smells like all kind of good smells, and the folks will be coming soon. We always cook with honey, sweeten up the night. We always cook with honey. So how's your appetite for some sweet love? Keep on setting that table, day after day after day. Keep on setting that table, and the rest of us will pray. Tell us how we can help you. Tell us what we can do. We want to be part of setting that table with you. With you. I think a lot about holy places. Holy places are not necessarily churches, although I must confess, I'm a church junkie. I love gorgeous, big church buildings. You know, the kind that cost way too much money, the kind that have acres and acres of empty space in them, the kind that take years and years and years to build, the cathedrals, which, you know, really, if you look at it from a financial point of view, who would build a cathedral these days? But I go into those places and I feel so rested and calmed. And let me see if I can find what I'm looking for here. Hold on. No, wait. Yes. I feel so rested and calmed and what shall I say? I find peace in those big old places where the sound just echoes forever. I could play that stuff for hours and hours and hours. You may have a different kind of holy place than I do, but I hope you have a holy place, whether it's a bedroom or a living room or out behind the tree or out in the backyard or out behind the garage. I hope you have a holy place. into a dreaming space. Visions coming like a summer rain, till the garden comes alive again. Let's go up into a holy place. Let's go up into a dreaming space. Visions coming like a summer rain, till the garden comes alive again. Shall we see the tongues of fire? Shall we hear the great wind roar? Shall we know the awesome wonder that we've only glimpsed before? Shall we know the awesome presence that can make us laugh and weep? Shall we know the pain of waking up when for so long we've been asleep? Let's go up into a holy place. Let's go up into a dreaming space. Visions coming like a summer rain, till the garden comes alive again. Shall we know the hungry longing of the child at mother's breast? Shall we drink till there's no wanting, only all-consuming rest? Shall we sleep with boundless pleasure in these forests and these fields? Shall we search for buried treasure? Let sacred soil her bounty. Let's go up into a holy place. Let's go up into a dreaming space. Visions coming like a summer rain, till the garden comes alive again. Well, let me ask, do we have some experiences here to...
Yes.
Good.
Okay. Oh gosh, it's so hard to choose. Okay.
We need to say that too. It's really difficult to make these choices, people. You write these beautiful things, and we, after the program is over, we go over all of these because I want to hear what folks are writing. I wish we could get to all the stories. Maybe one of these days, Sonia, we have to have a marathon. You have to have like a 12-hour show or something.
Right, we can see if we can stay up all night. Okay, this one said, I grew up as a missionary kid, living many places, but not quite putting down roots in any of them. Place is elusive for me. I have loved many churches, camps, cities, and countries, but I've always wanted to be from someplace. Now that I'm married, my wife and I live in the house where she grew up. Our kids have a sense of rootedness and place that I never had. But now I find myself missing the diversity and adventure of knowing many places. It is a trade-off.
Oh my, there you go. Okay. I love to go wandering, my knapsack on my back. And as I go, I love to sing along the mountain track. Just when you think you've got the bad end of the deal, and you wish that you could be from somewhere, that's when you find yourself suddenly rooted, and you want to be free to go everywhere. One moment I want to stay here in this place. One moment I want to feel the wind upon my face. Picking up and moving once again. Some new place now we will find. Picking up and moving once again. All the friends we leave behind. So long, so good to know you. So long, so good to know you. So long, so good to know you. Sorry to leave you behind. Now we're on the road again, finding a brand new space. And in this brand new place, we'll find some brand new grace. I won't make the same mistakes that maybe I made before. In this brand new place, there'll be an open door. Hello, so good to meet you. Hello, so good to meet you. Hello, so good to meet you. I know I'm gonna leave you behind. Now everything has changed. I live in a house where we're gonna live for a long, long time. My kids got a place to call their own. It's a house my wife lived in all of her life. And sometimes I go and stand in the front yard. I look and I look and I look out at the world. There's something in me that wants to move along the mountain track. My knapsack on my back, up and down that mountain trail. Now we're out beyond the pale. You take the bitter with the sweet. You take the good with the bad. One day you run, the next you plant your feet. But I've got to say, I am glad. Oh, good for you. Let me tell you a little bit about me and choirs. When I was in high school, I spent a good bit of time feeling uncomfortable. The only blind kid in the school, they'd never had a blind kid, didn't quite know how to deal with blind people. I actually tried to be cool in high school. It was a very uptight, very ultra-conservative Christian high school. And I used to go in the music room at lunch hour, in the choir room, and sing rock songs. I grew up in the early years of rock and roll. You know, I had a girl, Donna was her name, shooby-doo-wah. And I used to go in the choir room at lunch hour and sing those songs, and people would gather around the piano. I mean, there would be 70 or 80 people. Because see, we didn't have a cafeteria. You ate lunch in your fourth period class room. And so, and the building was not that large. You could hear from everywhere what was going on anywhere. So whatever was happening in the choir room kind of floated down from the top story all across the building. So when the choir was rehearsing, people would hear it. Well, they certainly heard me sing, and whenever there was free time at lunch, people would come gather around, you know, in the choir room. Well, so the choir room became a place where I felt free. I felt like I can be who I am. This is a place where they know me. They know much more than my name. And so choir has always been very, very important. I visit about, I don't know, maybe 40, 45 choirs a year in churches. And I do choir seminars. And I tell them how very important the choir room was to me, because it was my home place. For some high school kids, it's the band room. For some, you know, it's the library. For some, it's wherever the room is where you meet to work on the yearbook. For some, it's the chemistry lab. But we all have those home places. The choir was a very important place to me. And I'm looking at my watch now. I'm realizing we're not going to get around to all the songs that I wanted to get to. So I'm going to tell you right now, we're going to extend this for next week. So I want you to write to me about places that mean something to you, because I want to talk about places that are scary and places of challenge and places where important lessons are learned, places that may not be comfortable. So if you have wilderness experiences, if you have those experiences of being in a place where you run out of water and you run out of friends and you run out of possibilities. And maybe for some of you, this place is that. For some of us who are working to find funding for our families, who are out of work and trying to get unemployment and really don't quite know where the food's going to come from. This may be that kind of a place for you. And for some of us, it's a comfy place. We can be at home. But for a lot of us, it's an awful place. Anyway, so I want to talk about some of those places next week. So we'll continue places. Please tell me about places. But now I want to bring the choir in to help us. This is a choir that came from, the voices are from Azusa Pacific University, and they're singing a composition of mine called Hold My Hand. Hold my hand and don't let go while the winds of changing blow. In the rain and in the snow, hold my hand and don't let go. Let me sing the chorus for you, because you might want to sing along with the choir. It goes, hold my hand and don't let go while the winds of changing blow. In the rain and in the snow, hold my hand and don't let go. So we'll play the choir and we'll sing along with them and do the best we can. I'll do a little improvising. Toward the end of the piece, the choir lets loose and people start improvising like crazy. And that's the wonderful thing about when a choir really gets free. They can sing the score, but then they also can improvise and have a lot of fun. So here we go. Hold my hand. Hold my hand and don't let go while the winds of changing blow. In the rain and in the snow, hold my hand and don't. Now here we come. We are the children. We are the children of a new tomorrow. A new tomorrow filled with threat and promise. here we come. Hold my hand and don't let go. Ready? Here we go. Oh, hold my hand and don't. While the winds of changing blow, while the winds of changing, in the rain and in the snow, in the rain and in. Hold my hand and don't let go. Hold my hand and. In the night, we will be dancing. We will be dancing and lighting the candle. Lighting the candle for peace and justice. Here we come, here we are. Hold my hand and I don't let go. Hold my hand and don't. While the winds of changing blow, while oh, in the rain and in the snow. Hold my hand and don't let go. All around us, we can hear it. We can hear it. Mama Earth is crying. Mama Earth is crying. Somebody save me. Here we come. Hold my hand and don't. While the winds of changing blow. In the rain and in the snow. Hold my hand and don't let go. With these hands, we're gonna build the bridges. We will build the bridges of compassion. Of compassion and understanding. Here we come. Oh yeah. Go choir. Hold my hand and don't let go. Don't let go. Yeah, come on. Yeah. Everybody sing it now. In the rain, in the snow. Yeah, oh yeah. Don't. Yeah, sing it again now. Yeah, come on. Let me hear those hands. Oh, clapping is exercise. Oh, dance around your living room if you want to. Sing it one more time. Yes. Let me tell you now. Be all right now. Yeah, yeah. Uh-huh. I guess we got one more time. Yeah, yeah. Hold my hand and don't let go. While the winds of change and blow, dancing around that living room, yeah. There's a place for us somewhere a place for us. Hold my hand and we're halfway there. Hold my hand and I'll take you there. Take you there. Fly with me on the wings of your story. Take me to someplace you know. Run with me down roads you have traveled. I want to be there where you choose to go. Sail with me down the rivers of your memory. We'll sail together. There's so much to see. Fly with me on the wings of your story. Time's all we need, my friend. Come story with me. You've heard me do this salutation before, but I love to do it, so I'll do it one more time. Go your way and hope attend you all through the night. May she peace and courage send you all through the night. May she ever stand beside you in her loving kindness, hide you through the treacherous darkness, guide you all through the night. Good night.